Some teacher unions are calling for the cancellation of the Ghana Partnership School project, which is expected to begin in September 2019. What are their reasons? They will be sharing with us on this episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Ajman. Stay tuned.
Taking over very well endowed public schools and then funding it through loan and grants that government is sourced from the World Bank and giving that in the hands of private people to manage. By so doing, taking out the professionals, nobody is going to accept that. So you don't take a loan that the taxpayer is going to pay and give it to private people to manage public schools. In other words, government is ceding off public schools to private individuals. And let us not forget, it is both local private people and foreign private people, and that is unacceptable.
If it's unacceptable, have you reached out to government to put before government the reasons why it should hold on to the project?
Well, our understanding is that this discussion has been going on over the last 2 years. And it is so strange to us that within our industry, there has always been that collaboration between us and government when it comes to issues of this nature. Unfortunately, for this particular project, for 2 years that they have been discussing this matter, they've completely kept it out. And we did send them a notice about 3 weeks ago through a press statement that we're unhappy about the development and will kick against it if they want to implement it.
When you say they have completely kept you out, what do you mean? How do you mean by that?
We are not aware of the existence of a committee that is looking at this document that is going to create the Ghana Partnership Schools project. We are not aware of the criteria they are using in selecting the schools. We are not aware of basically anything at all that they are doing. That's what I mean by the fact that we have been left out.
Why should it be a worry to us as a country when government is going for a loan to come and inject into our educational system to improve academic performance?
As a matter of fact, that is not what it is. If government is just going for a loan to inject to resource education, we don't have a problem with that. But if government is going to take loan to take away public schools and hand it over to private schools, what it means is that there will be job losses in the GES. What it also means is that we are even not too sure the curriculum that private man is going to push through. What we know will happen is that job insecurity will be rife. So people will not even work the way they want to. And then we would have thrown professionalism to the dogs.
But another project, GES teachers or public teachers are going to be used to implement this project. So why are you worried? Why don't you wait for it to start before you start making this noise?
What they are talking about is that if they identify the schools, which we do not know, but they have slated 100 schools, and they give it to a private operator to run, it is for the teachers to decide whether they will stay in the school or not. Now, if the teachers decide not to stay in the school, they are saying that the teacher will be transferred to another school without any transfer grant. They are also telling us that the heads of the schools that they are going to select would not automatically head the schools under a private operator. I mean, these are the things that are completely unacceptable. Look, we exist because of the welfare of our members. And therefore, for any policy that is inimical to the welfare of our members, we're going to stand against it.
Now, let's come to the criteria of schools that have been selected. Are you worried about the criteria of schools that have been selected?
The criteria of schools selected portends a hidden agenda. One, they are talking about a school that does not need immediate rehabilitation. Two, they are talking about a school that has a minimum population of 300. They are talking about a school that has KG, kindergarten, primary, and JSS. In other words, they are looking for the juicy and attractive public basic schools where they will not even spend money in resourcing those schools, spend money in infrastructure rehabilitation. It tells that the objective is not to provide education. The objective is to make money from the poor. And we are so disappointed that government will allow this to happen.
We have a lot of rural schools in this country that still sit under trees, that live under thatched buildings with pupils lying down on the floor and writing. Why are they not going to select those schools and give it to a private man and give that private man 3 years and find out if he can transform that school under tree, that school under thatch, that school without furniture, that school without teaching and learning materials, that school without trained teachers, and see if that private man will be able to transform that school to produce results within 3 years. But you want to go and give a school that is already doing well, a school that is already in the middle of the urban area, to a private man, a school that is already doing well. Then after 3 years, you come and tell us that because the school was given to a private person, he is doing well, and so what? So the criteria is totally wrong, and it should tell you that the motive behind it is so different. That is why we are totally not for it. And on top of it, government has a sole responsibility under the laws of this country to provide education for the citizenry. Basic education is supposed to be 100% free, and now they have added SHS. So if school is supposed to be free, government should find ways and means of providing the infrastructure, the teaching and learning materials. The teachers should be well and remunerated. In fact, in our collective bargaining agreement, teachers that are teaching in the rural communities, in the deprived areas, are supposed to be given 20% on top of their basic pay, so that it will attract them, for them to put in their best. All these things are not being done. You go to rural communities.
So you want government to put in place the necessary infrastructure at the rural areas before, or maybe hand the rural area schools in the rural areas to these private developers before it comes to the urban areas.
Exactly. You see, currently the basic schools that are not doing well are those that are in the hinterlands. They are the schools that are not doing well. That sometimes may not even get a single student passing. In some of those schools, you go there, and from primary to JHS, you cannot even count up to 5 teachers who are all pupil teachers in the first place. And then 2, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the teaching and learning material. There is nothing, and they don't do well. This private school that they are comparing it with is unfortunate.
Hold on, I'll come back to you. Now, you are talking about the fact that government says we are going out of the IMF program in April, but then this same government turns around to go for a World Bank loan. So we should be worried. Why should we be worried when government wants to inject over $100 million into our basic public schools?
We must be worried because, yes, IMF, World Bank, we have dealt with them. Conditionalities and what have you and so on. And we think that that is not the best for us as a country. That's why we say we are pulling out from, April 2019. And we are talking of Ghana, beyond aid. We want to take our own destiny into our own hands and move forward. But at the same time, we are going for a loan from, the World Bank, like he said, to privatize, some selected schools. The consequences are there. Anything by World Bank, IMF, we know from the days of Jerry Rawlings, IMF, World Bank. We have gone and we have complained, and today we say we are going out, and then we are now turning around to do something else.
That will be all for this episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Achman. Keep watching City TV.